Okay, so you're standing there looking at flooring samples, engineered wood, laminate, and you're thinking, which one is actually gonna, last in my house?
Right. It's a super common question.
Exactly. So today on the deep dive, we're really digging into that. We've got this detailed report, and our mission is pretty simple. Pull out the key stuff on lifespan, cut through the noise so you feel well informed.
Yeah, let's get past the shiny brochures. We're
Yeah.
looking at what these floors are really made of.
hmm
Engineered wood, think. Like a real wood layer on top of a stable core. Plywood, sometimes HDF, you get the wood look, but it's often more stable.
Okay. And laminate.
Laminate's totally synthetic. It's basically a picture of wood or maybe stone under a really tough wear layer, usually on an HDF core too.
Gotcha. So the big question we're tackling, the one everyone asks, which one usually holds up longer in a typical home?
All right, let's break it down. For engineered wood, the key thing for longevity, it's that top layer, the real wood veneer. How thick is it?
And why does the thickness matter so much?
Well, if it's thick enough, say maybe 3 millimeters or more, you can actually sand it down and refinish it later. Like if it gets scratched up over the years.
Ah, okay. So you can sort of renew it.
Exactly. That ability to refinish can seriously extend its life. We're talking potentially 20, 30, maybe even 40 years plus for a good quality one. But if it's got a really thin veneer, like less than 2 millimeters, refinishing is probably off the table.
So you're stuck with how it looks then. And what about the stuff underneath that wood layer, the core?
Right, the core matters too. Often plywood or HDF. Plywood is generally seen as a bit better with moisture and staying stable, dimensionally stable. That helps it last longer.
Okay, makes sense. Now, switching gears to laminate, what's the critical factor there for lifespan?
For laminate, it's all about that top wear layer. It's usually melamine resin with aluminum oxide. Sounds fancy, but it's just really hard stuff. And it has an AC rating.
AC rating, like air conditioning?
No, not quite. It stands for abrasion class. Goes from AC1 to AC5. Basically, the higher the number, the tougher it is against scratches, wear, dents, that kind of thing.
So a higher AC rating means it should look good for longer.
Pretty much, yeah. A good laminate, maybe AC3 or higher for homes,
Yeah.
could last you, say, 15 to 25, maybe even 30 years in terms of just not wearing through.
And it also has that HDF core, like some engineered woods.
It does, yeah. High density fiberboard. That density helps resist impacts like dropping something.
Yeah.
But, and this is a big but for laminate, that HDF core is really vulnerable to water if it gets into the seams between planks.
Ah, okay. So spills aren't the enemy, but seepages.
Precisely.
Yeah.
So, a key thing here is quality varies hugely in both types. A really high-end, tough laminate like an AC4 or AC5 might actually look good for longer than a cheap engineered wood with a paper-thin veneer.
Right. It's not just engineered versus laminate, full stop. Quality matters within each category.
Absolutely. And beyond the materials themselves, other things massively impact lifespan. Insulation is huge.
You mean like making sure the floor underneath is level?
That, and acclimating the planks to your home's environment before installing, leaving expansion gaps around the edges. If the insulation is bad, the floor can fail way sooner than it should, especially laminate with moisture getting under it.
Okay, so professional installation or very careful DIY is critical. What about just day-to-day living? Maintenance?
Crucial for both. Gentle cleaning, using the right products, no harsh chemicals or tons of water, cleaning up spills quickly. Basic stuff, but it adds up.
And this is where engineered wood has that potential advantage again, right? The refinishing.
Yes, that's the big difference long term. If your engineered wood gets dull or scratched after 10, 15 years, and it has that thick wear layer, you can refinish it. Laminate, nope. Once it's worn or badly scratched, that's kind of it.
So comparing head-to-head on wear and tear, scratches, who wins?
Generally, laminate often wins on initial scratch resistance because of that hard aluminum oxide layer. Engineered wood's resistance depends more on the wood species, how hard the wood itself is, and the type of factory finish it has.
Okay. And dense, dropping things.
Laminate often handles impacts a bit better too, again due to that tough wear layer and the dense core underneath. Engineered wood can dent, especially softer wood species.
But moisture is laminate's Achilles heel.
At the seams, yes. The surface itself is pretty water resistant, but if liquid sits and seeps between the planks, the core can swell and buckle. Engineered wood isn't waterproof either. It's still wood, but it generally handles moisture fluctuations better than laminate's core does, especially if it has a plywood core.
What about repairs? Like if one plank gets damaged?
Big difference here. Engineered wood, if it's bad, sometimes a single plank can be replaced, or again, if the wear layer is thick enough, You refinish the whole floor to fix widespread issues.
And laminate.
Laminate can't be refinished, period. The only option is to replace the damaged plank or planks, which can be tricky, especially if it's in the middle of the floor. And you absolutely need leftover planks from the original installation to match.
Good point about keeping extras. Now, what about those super long warranties you see? 25 years, 50 years, even lifetime sometimes.
Yeah, those look impressive. But you really need to read the fine print. The report we looked at emphasizes they mostly cover manufacturing defects, things like the layers separating or the finish wearing through prematurely in a big area.
So not everyday wear and tear.
Usually not. Most warranties specifically exclude things like scratches, dents, loss of gloss, damage from improper installation, improper maintenance, or, crucially, moisture damage. The stuff that actually causes most floors to look worn out.
Huh. So the warranty length isn't really a guarantee of how long it will actually look good in your home.
Not really, no. It's more about protection against a faulty product from the factory. Don't rely on it as your main guide for practical lifespan.
Okay, so let's circle back. Based on everything, which one tends to last longer? If someone listening has to choose.
Well, engineered wood has the potential to last longer, mainly because of that refinishing option. But that requires buying a quality product with a thick enough wear layer in the first place, and then taking good care of it.
Right. And if refinishing isn't a priority or maybe budget is tight,
then a high-quality laminate could be a fantastic choice. It offers excellent durability right out of the box against scratches and dents, often at a lower price point. It might be better for, say, really high-traffic homes or rentals, where that initial toughness is key.
so there's no single winner. It really depends on what you need.
Exactly. It boils down to your lifestyle, your budget, how important that authentic wood look and feel is versus sheer toughness, and whether you value the ability to refinish down the line. And, of course, getting a quality product and good installation.
Okay, so maybe the final thought for people listening is this. What does long-lasting actually mean to you?
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Is it having a floor that resists scratches really well for 15 years? Or is it having a floor that might show wear sooner, but you have the option to completely refresh its look after a decade or two? Thinking about that might just guide you to the right choice.